what's up, everybody? My name is Molly Van Marth. I'm an executive health and fitness consultant. And today I've got my client Dave here with us. I just wanted Dave to come on and share a little bit about what his experience was like in the program. Dave did a really, really great job. And so, Dave, I guess just kick it off with who are you? What do you do? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, hey Molly. I work for a an LTL trucking company. I'm a chief operating officer. Very busy schedule, a lot of travel, a lot of client interaction, dinners, after hours, cocktails, that kind of stuff. So, for me, trying to maintain a healthy weight and get my workouts in while being on the road a lot was always difficult. And I've been an athlete all my life. I played college football and college wrestling, played rugby in college. Always been in the gym since I was 16, always worked out. As I got older, though, I had some knee injuries, some hip injuries. Doctor told me to stay off the running type stuff. So, cardio I try to do is, more of an elliptical, a spin bike, walking on a treadmill. I live on a golf course, so I like to walk the golf course early in the morning as well. So I've always been active, but I hit a point where I always felt like I could correct it, and then I've hit a point in my life where I'm like, I'm up against the wall. I feel like I plateaued, and I just needed something to get me past that. And that's when I found you on LinkedIn, and we connected, and it's been an amazing experience.
Been great. Yeah, I guess backing up, everybody's different, right? Like I meet everybody at different places. Some people have plateaued working with personal trainers, other people have plateaued trying the group class thing. For you, you were really doing it on your own. And you do have a lot of experience. You do have a lot of knowledge in terms of just general fitness and even generally eating healthy, right?
Yeah.
You had general knowledge, but you just didn't have the knowledge and the plan you needed to get to the next level with where you're at now. So you had been doing it on your own. When we started, where were you? And I guess share a little bit about just what your progress was like in the program. What did you see
Yeah,
happen?
I bounced around in the low to mid 210, 215 range. That was heavy for me. I'd get down to 202, 201. I felt better, but I still wasn't where I needed to be. When I started with you, I was 215, and at my low point, I was 187. And today, I'm hanging right at 190. I feel like that's a comfortable weight for me and where I need to be.
It's awesome. Awesome. And what else did we see happen? I know just a minute ago we were kind of talking through the series of events because I think one of the big questions when I work with someone new, they want to know, like, first of all, is it going to work and is it different than what I've tried in the past? And then even if we talk through, okay, here's how this probably will work for you. The question is, can I do it when I'm traveling, when I have work, when I have a family? So going through some of the real life stuff that you encountered over your program, even while you were dropping that weight, I guess just kind of share what were some of the real life events that first of all, you started in December. So maybe we started there.
December 15th, we started.
Yeah.
And so, my first couple of weeks were into the holidays and we got holiday parties and then New Year's. So, that was challenging, but I was able to make progress through that. And then I think originally I signed up with you for 5 months, I think. So, that would have taken us until May, or 4 months. I don't remember. But in February, I had a trip. My wife and I had a trip to St. Lucia. So we went to St. Lucia for a week, and great food, great wine. Still was able to maintain. I was looking forward. They had, this is funny, on the website they had pictures of what their fitness center looked like, and I looked at it
Right.
prior to going down. I'm like, okay, cool. They've got dumbbells. They've got some stuff I can work out. Well, when I got down there, it was under construction or renovation, and there was nothing available but a pair of 10-pound dumbbells and 20-pound dumbbells, and that's it.
Yeah.
So one day, my wife and I were on the beach, and I was walking, just trying to get some exercise in, and I found this secluded part of the beach that had all of these rocks and boulders on. So I did a workout of picking up and throwing small
You
boulders
sent
and
it to me.
doing
Yeah.
push-ups and
Yeah.
sit-ups and squats with holding boulders. So anything is possible anywhere. You just have
Yeah.
to be a little bit creative sometimes.
Resourceful.
Um, and then I'd gotten sick over between Christmas and New Year's, and I was coughing, bronchitis. I was coughing so violently that I developed a hernia. Uh, so on March 9th, I had to have hernia surgery. And, post hernia surgery, the doctor says don't lift anything over 20 pounds. So there goes my weight training for a month that I couldn't do anything. But
4 weeks.
for four
Yeah.
weeks, yes, I walked as much as I could just to get some exercise. 4 weeks I couldn't lift, but I stuck to the diet and I stuck to the macros and was able to maintain my weight through that.
Yeah, that's huge. I think, and for anybody watching this too, when you're putting in a lot of work and your body isn't changing, and not only that, but when your body's shifting in the wrong direction, it can be
Yeah,
really confusing. Like, what's it going to take with food and what's it going to take with workouts to get my body back to looking fit? And to answer that, the easiest way for me to explain it is nutrition controls your weight and your workouts control your shape, right?
yeah,
And what people are missing a lot of times with nutrition is real targets behind the foods that they're eating. So for you, you already had a general understanding of healthy versus unhealthy food, which
hmm
is a lot of the people I work with. But the question is like, how much of certain types of foods should you be eating to control the scale? And so that's what we were able to dial in with you. And when it's about targets, you've seen with travel, whether you're eating at home or you're at a, steakhouse dinner with clients or your team or whatever, you can hit those targets regardless of where you're eating, but you have to understand what your targets are. And so that was one of
yeah,
the first things we got dialed in with you in the very beginning, is giving you clarity on, okay, these targets matter. And it's not everything, it's not micromanaging things, right? But it's giving you the clear targets that really do matter to control the scale. And that's why you were able to make such great progress, even through the holidays, even with traveling, even on vacation. And, really important, especially not that you want to get injured, but at some point, people are going to have to probably take time out of the gym, whether it's you
sure.
do go out of town and there's nothing in the gym, equipment wise, or you do get injured or you get sick. And so what's really cool is when you have the nutrition working for you, you can control your weight through nutrition alone. That's how powerful nutrition is. And when you don't have that nutrition working for you, if you miss even a day or two out of the gym, you notice that the scale starts to creep up. So that was a great example of just you had mastered the nutrition at that point. So it was really cool to see you be able to go through that well. And the other thing with, workouts, I guess maybe you explain what was the change? What changed with your workouts? Because you were already training before I started working with you, but obviously we transformed your workout routine too. What was the biggest change you saw there?
Yeah, when I was working out on my own, I'm an up early guy, so I'm 5 o'clock. I get my workout in and get it out of the way. I've religiously been doing that for probably 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was always like felt like I was in a hurry, and I was putting together kind of like this, in cardio type training with weight training, 5, 6, 7 exercises back to back to back to back, and it was working for me. Um, I guess maybe when you presented the new workouts, it was something. Maybe it shocked my body. Maybe it was something my body needed to do something a little different. But the workouts were fun, and the workouts were. I told you I had about 45 minutes in the morning, and you catered everything to between 39 and 51 minutes or so of these workouts, and they were awesome. You just stick to them, and you follow the diet. And I'll also mention, Molly, the diet, the foods that you introduced me to, the uh, how to eat and follow your macros. I was never hungry. I never starved. I mean, I struggled sometimes to eat enough protein, literally like forcing down chicken breast at dinner, saying I got to get another 50 grams of protein in me. I
Eating
mean,
more. Yeah.
eating more, yeah, and that's the best part of it is, and I've been doing it now 5 going on 6 months with you, and I know what to do. I know how to eat, and I know what to avoid, and I'm eating great food. I'm eating really good stuff.
Yeah.
And you got to figure out a way when you're busy and you travel and you're in restaurants or eating at an airport. I mean, there are always options for you to fall back
Right.
on. You just can't give up and say I'm going to go get a burger and fries. That's going to kill you. There's
Right.
always an option.
Yeah. And just knowing that's a big piece of what I try to give you guys is just knowing where your options are, right? Because
Yep.
what you don't have the time to do is research okay, now I've got my nutrition targets. I know what those are, but how do I hit these targets when I'm again eating on the run? So that's, a big thing that we focus on is just logistics of how do you execute your plan without having to think too hard about it. So that was great.
Yeah, and you don't need, I mean, you provided with me, I know you're working on some software updates for your business, but what you provided me with my workout plan, my diet, my how to log my food and and the other uh, the Google documents that you shared with
Mhm.
me, all of those things were at the beginning were exactly what I needed to get started and to get focused. And once I don't know, I'll say maybe a month into it, I'm like, okay, I'm dialed in. I know what I have to do now. And it's really easy. It's not hard at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a big thing, because that's something that I hear a lot too. I think with executives and trying to find the right consultant or coach to work with, because a lot of you guys do know that you travel, so you kind of do know that you need to work with someone online. But what I hear a lot too when people end up paired up with the wrong coach or the wrong consultant is sometimes all of the work is put on you guys. You guys are already doing the work, right? So in my mind, it's my job to make you showing up for your plan, you eating the right foods, you knowing how to work out. It's my job to make that part easier for you because I know you're going to do the work, right? You guys aren't lazy. You just need the plan in front of you and you'll execute, without fail. So that's one thing that I always try to give you guys is just no-brainer solutions for how to get the right food to you or how to make the right choices. Um, yeah, and one of the things like for with your workouts, like going back to the workouts for a second, I think one of the big things that I try to give you guys is sometimes even a more condensed workout plan where your workouts with me were probably even sometimes shorter than maybe the workouts you were doing on your own.
Yeah.
And typically just a 4-day plan. I mean, most of like if anybody sees the before and afters on my website, everything is with a 4-day plan. And the reason that that 4-day plan works so well is because it's not just stacking a bunch of effort hoping it adds up to results. Those are organized progressive workouts. And so they're designed with purpose. And that's why you were able to maintain all of your muscle mass even while you were dropping so much weight, is because those workouts were designed to be efficient, effective, and also keep the muscle on your body. The other thing, I know you shared a story when you were jumping in, you shared a story about a colleague of yours who was kind of, boasting about hitting PRs. And then the next thing you know, he's half crippled. So that's the other thing that I focus on with
Yeah.
workouts is like, how can we be effective, keep the lean muscle, but also be smart so that you're not getting injured?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly right. And you know, I like I mentioned when I started, I've been doing the workout since I was 16, right? So I know how to work out in the gym. I know how to be safe.
Yeah.
But I also know my limits, right? And I'm 61 years old, and the last thing I'm going to do is push myself to the point that, I throw out my back or I hurt a shoulder. I've already had rotator cuff surgery
Mm-hmm.
one time. I don't want to do it again. But I'm able to work out hard and still feel good about it, and
Mm-hmm.
not get hurt.
Definitely. So I know you mentioned what was the total pounds? What was I forget, starting number,
Started at
lowest weight?
215. My lowest weight was 187. So 28 pounds from the highest to the lowest. And I feel like that 190 range is perfect for me, which
Ideal.
would be 25 pounds.
Yeah. And what did you see change? That's the scale. So obviously a huge change there. In terms of your shape and like what you were noticing. Because also I remember on our first call, how did you explain? You were just explaining shifts happening that you hadn't seen happen before and you didn't like it. So what were you
Yeah.
noticing before we started working together that you were wanting to fix?
So when I was younger, I say younger, I mean like in my 40s or so, I could lift heavy and I had a larger chest, more like a bodybuilder type chest, and then not quite bodybuilder, but
You said a big barrel chest. That was a good way of
barrel chest. There you go.
explaining it. Yeah.
And then as you get older, obviously, you cautiously lifting a little bit less because I don't want to hurt myself. Some of that weight or some of that bulk that I had kind of shifted down, and I got a little bit of a pooch belly, and I didn't like that, and the love handles didn't like that, and I wasn't fat, but you could tell that I had my body was shifting and the weight had moved to a different part of my body.
Hmm. How about your arms? I think you mentioned something about your arms too.
Yeah, my arms. I've always lifted arms, not specifically like you put together for me in my plan, which I love now. My arms were always well defined, but um, now I've been able to get a little bit of mass as well as more definition in my arms.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then what were you sharing with your clothes? Like, how has that changed things?
So, I've got I'm 5'10", 200 now, I weigh 190 pounds. I've never been, but when I was like 205, whatever, I can't just go buy clothes off the rack. So I have to have clothes made. So I have a tailor that makes clothes for me. Well, I had to take 10 pairs of pants in, get 2 inches taken out of every one of them because I lost so much weight. It cost me $225. But that's the best $225 I ever spent. My wife was getting on me. She said, "Would you finally go get your pants fixed because they look like crap on you?" So I had to take
Oh,
my pants in and all my work pants, my dress slacks, things like that
yeah.
had to get altered.
Good problem to have. I told Dave, sorry,
That's
not
right.
sorry.
That's right.
Well, good stuff. Any I guess any other wisdom you would share with someone who maybe hasn't gone through this? Oh, I know. What was the thing that made you want to do this? Like, I guess what made you pull the trigger? What was the motivation for not waiting any longer? That's what I wanted to ask.
It, Molly, it was like like I said, I hit this plateau and I wasn't seeing any gains in my working out. My weight wasn't moving. I felt like, okay, I've got to go on to a cardio type program to try to shed fat, which uh, wasn't the answer, as we found out. It just got to the point that, I need something that's going to give me a kick in the butt and get me doing something different so I can get results. And the best part, Molly, about your program is it's sustainable. It's not a keto diet. It's not an Atkins diet. It's not one of these. What you have put together is 100% sustainable. It is you can do it, and you don't if you, as long as you stay on the plan and you don't deviate away too much, it's gold. It works great.
Yeah, yeah, you got big results for sure. So, well, obviously I've enjoyed working with you. I would love to work with more Daves in the future. So thanks for sharing your story and your progress, and it's been a lot of fun. So excited to see where you'll take it from here.
Yeah, thanks, Molly. I appreciate it. And, you were fantastic to work with, always available. I mean, even when I started, I remember, going out to a restaurant and you said, "Oh, just take a picture of the menu and send it to me." And I did. And it's 7:30 at night and you're texting me back, "Get the mahi mahi. It's got X grams of protein. That's what you want. Best thing on the menu." And you were
Yeah.
amazing. You were
Yep.
amazing to
That's
always support.
important. Yeah, it's important. I mean, that's really, you guys just if we look at the process of like someone being at a plateau to the end result of getting back to where they felt fit, there's only so many questions that you guys are going to have. And so that's what I really believe in. It is the one-on-one customized mentorship piece where like I'm just there to answer the questions that you have. And I know that if I can answer your questions, you guys will apply the process. You'll follow the plan. And so it is really fun for me to teach you guys because I know you always execute. And so it's a lot of fun for me to be able to, not just give you the plan, but also teach you the process behind it. So
Yeah, and I'll close, Molly, and just say this. This is the first time in my entire life I ever hired a personal trainer, somebody to help me with my diet. I've always said I can do it on my own. But, I guess you don't know what you don't know, and I'm 10 out of 10. So glad that we were able to work together. It was awesome.
awesome. Well, thanks so much, Dave. And I guess we'll keep in touch.
Okay, we will. Take care. Thank you.